Already started.
And it cannot be stopped. What is written is fate. It is destiny. We are too late.
Oh, it's just a dream. No, I'm good. I'm good. How are you? You good? Yeah, no, just a bad dream, it's nothing to worry about. In fact, I meant to get up now anyway, because I got stuff to do, I gotta get this episode started and all that, so, I'll see you later. Have fun trampling my furniture. Greetings, everybody, and welcome back to Wolfinia. This is episode 311 of my Minecraft survival series, and over the past few episodes, we've dedicated some time to building up the office space here for Mr. Wolfens, and it's pretty much done at this point. The office itself is all done, and the only thing really left to do before Mr. Wolfens moves back in here is clean up the mess. Now, I did already remove the stuff from up there, but I kind of put it down here. I don't want Mr. Wolfens having to walk through all this mess, right? So we're going to get this done as quickly as possible. Just want to make sure the door closed. But basically, we have a couple more office areas that are going to be built down here. This one is going to be for Mr. Wolfens' son, Wolfred. And over here, Mr. Wolfens has kindly donated some area for me to build my own office, as well as some storage and all that stuff. I do already have these areas kind of drawn out. As I said, we want to get this done quickly. So, yeah, I actually came prepared today. So let's jump right into it. We got a lot to do today, and we should get started. So at this point, let's go ahead and call the drone on over here, put on a little bit of music, and get to work. Welcome back, everybody. At this point, the executive offices are now complete, and all of these various corridors actually go someplace now, which is nice. And if we make our way up here, we have the final additions to the executive offices. I did finally fix the missing piece of wall there. And then, of course, we have the offices themselves. So I think we're going to start over here with Mr. Wolfens Jr.'s office, which is very nice, very much in the style of Mr. Wolfens' office, though a bit smaller because, he's the boss's son, not the boss, so he doesn't get the gold door treatment. But who knows, maybe one day. He's got potential. And across the way here, we have my office. Now, we do have to pass through a little bit of a warehouse in order to get to my office, but that's actually pretty convenient. because my office is right here. You can see it's very nice, very cozy, and I can sit at my desk here and look at the warehouse and do inventory and all that stuff. And I got places to keep all my maintenance equipment because, you know, I might have to come out here and do maintenance on the redstone and whatnot. So I do have quick access to various, you know, redstone thingies about the lab. Quick note, I do really like this glow around Mr. Wolfen's door right here. It just kind of really signals that, you know, greatness is held beyond, you know, which I think is really cool. All right, I got stuff to do. So today we are going to continue our work over here in the quarantine district of Wolfen's Laboratories in Wolfenia. And we were just talking about maintenance, how I needed quick access to it in case I need to work on stuff. I've kind of drawn the perimeter of several, I guess, access panels that I intend to use to gain access to various redstone and backstage areas over here in the quarantine district. There's another one right here, and if we fly around this way, you can see there's another one, and of course we have one over here as well. These will provide me with rooftop access to anything that needs to be worked on, basically, in case any emergency maintenance needs to be done. I can quickly access it by flying over to the access panel and making my way to the worksite. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and start getting one of these access panels done, redstone and all, just so you can see what I mean. All right, we seem to be good. So there is our opening sequence. We can head on down here, access whatever we need to. Let's go ahead and check out the closing sequence. The stairs should retract. That should go fill in the gap. Opening sequence again. This retracts, stairs go in. All right, excellent. So this is basically two separate systems that work with each other. First, we have the floor retractor, which will pull the floor down and then it'll pull it out. And that kind of opens this up for us to push the stairs into place, which we do with this triple piston extender that we use for Mr. Wolfen's door. And then over there, we got the timing for it all, which is kind of a mess, but it works, which is the main thing. Late addition here, but I did add this button, which will basically allow me to actually close this behind me, which we need for security reasons. Also, if I'm down here and want to get out, I can open it up from in here as well and gain access to the roof. And lastly, we'll just want to get these areas lit up, and we'll want to put a cover on this. That way, you know, we don't have any rain getting down in there, and that way it looks presentable, because this is, you know, a part of Wolfen's Labs. And there we go. That is more or less how each of these access panels is going to look. And we do have 3 more that we need to build, so at this point, we should probably go ahead and do that. Let's call the drone on over here, put on a little bit of music, and get to work. Welcome back, everybody. So, at this point, I am happy to report that we have all of our access panels now in place, and in addition to that, they are all operational. It's like a split second too slow, but that's fine. Now, that was a good warm-up, but obviously these access panels here aren't meant to be secure. They're to offer access into the maintenance areas of the quarantine district. Stuff that's of my pay grade, but for anything that's going to be within the laboratories of the quarantine district themselves, we're going to want some heightened security. Because, as it turns out, and this is going to shock you just as much as it shocked me, that person who I talked to the other day that seemed to make sense, that one time I thought about it very, very briefly, turns out she is an apostate. And Wolford confirmed, yeah, that's an apostate. So naturally, Wolford and I went and talked to Mr. Wolfens, informed him that, yeah, there's apostates in Wolfinia, and obviously he's not happy about that, which is why I'm working on getting the roof on this place, getting it secure before we start work on any of the super secret projects that are going to be housed within. So in addition to getting the roof on this place, let me go ahead and let you in on the next project that we're going to actually work on today. Because the thing is, and I'm proud of this, Mr. Wolfens thought my access panels, my rooftop access panels were such a good idea that he wanted rooftop access into the labs itself. Now, obviously, this is going to be much more secure and be much more important. So right now, I'm going to take a little bit of time to kind of plan out some stuff, draw out some stuff, kind of figure out the layout of everything, and then we'll be back to discuss. All right, I got some stuff planned out at this point. So basically, we'll start over here at the rooftop access. You can see we have some stairs that lead down from that to this level right here, which is about even with the second floor. So that way we can access the second floor of the quarantine hub from here. And basically, we're going to have a security checkpoint right about here-ish. And then over here, we're going to have a lobby of sorts, a little waiting area. And then, of course, the stairs out. Now, why would we need rooftop access? Well, I'm glad you asked, because I just thought of that. First of all, there's obviously for security. You know, we'll have guards patrolling the roof. Secondly, though, you might notice I have a little pathway right here. That's going to lead to an elytra landing pad, which is going to be somewhere over in this area. So that way, anyone with elytra can access the labs that way. Now, regardless of whether we're entering the labs on foot or by air, we are going to want the same heightened security, which means we are going to want to only be able to access it with the use of one of these ID badges. Actually, it's going to be more robust than this. It's probably going to be more on par with the Cerberus system that actually secures access to the quarantine district already. But this will be like another Cerberus system for rooftop access, except for we won't have a Cerberus robot in here because, well, there's not enough room for that. But I think I'm ready to go ahead and get the redstone in place. So at this point, let's go ahead and call the drone on over here, put on a little bit of music, and get to work. Welcome back, everybody. At this point, we do have our security checkpoint in place, and I think it's going to work out pretty well. I'm not going to go over all the redstone because you guys saw this when I was building it during the time lapse, but there are several mechanisms involved. We can go ahead and check them out. First of all, we have to scan our ID badge in order to gain access to Wolfen's Labs. So we'll place our ID badge in here. It will take a moment to scan the ID badge, at which point the door will open and we can collect our ID badge back here on the other side. Door closes behind us and we're good. Now, let's say if we were leaving Wolfen's Labs, we can just walk straight on out. No special ID badge needed because we're not securing the outside of Wolfenia. We're just securing the lab itself. Now, let's say somebody tries to fraudulently gain access to the labs by using a counterfeit ID badge or something of that sort. Well, if that happens, door closes behind us and we get set on fire. The counterfeit ID is kicked out and that's that. Actually, we're going to want to know if somebody's trespassing, so I added an alarm up here as well. Which means I should probably test this out again to make sure the alarm works. So, put my counterfeit ID in here, and then just wait for it. Yep, and the alarm is going off. And I think we're good. It's feeling pretty secure. But now that we've got our security measures in place, we're going to want to get the rest of this area built out, right? So we'll get this corridor built out. We will get the lobby over here built out all the way up the stairs to the elytra landing pad. So at this point, let's go ahead and call the drone on over here, put on a little bit of music, and get to work. Welcome back, everybody. That was a close one. But we do have some stuff built in here now, starting with this elytra landing pad, which you can see does extend a little bit into the Wolfen's residential district, or future Wolfen's residential district. I did have to accommodate it with the walkway up here on the city walls, but you know what? I think it does. It works. It works. It's not too bad. But you know, who's going to complain, right? As for Mr. Wolfen, nobody's going to complain about that. But we have our elytra landing pad, the main purpose of which is to land. And that leads us to this walkway right here, which leads us to the sheltered entrance into Wolfen's Labs quarantine district. with a view of a future beacon power tower right there to match with the one that'll be on the other side over here. Not really much to see here yet. It'll look much better once we get the rest of the roof in, but we can go ahead and make our way down inside into the lobby / waiting area, which is pretty basic. You guys didn't really get to see that during the time lapse, but you didn't miss out on much. If we enter our ID badge in here, we can gain access to this next area where our ID badge will be promptly returned to us. And we can check in at this security check-in desk right here before proceeding on into the quarantined district of Wolfen's Laboratory. Obviously, still a lot of work to be done, but we are definitely making progress, and we are making strides towards keeping those apostates out. I mean, we got a secured entrance now. There's no way for them to get in. No way at all. But I think that is probably a good place to call it for today. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I do hope that you will stick around for the next one. In any case, I just want to thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I deeply appreciate it. And until next time, I will see you guys later.